Okay. I think most of you are back. Just a minute.
Hi guys, I want to say something. Me and Lilian are sharing a laptop right now. So I kind of want to talk about like shame. I think a lot of the time the reason people feel shame is because they don't necessarily feel shame, but they think they'll bring shame to their society or families or something like that. I don't know if you guys have heard about honor killings, because a lot of the time girls are just killed by their own families in many cultures just because they did something wrong and it brought shame to their family, or even they're shunned by their family. So imagine like never being able to speak to your family again, or being killed by your own family just because something happened to you. That's why I think a lot of people feel shame in sharing stuff like this about themselves.
Mm-hmm. My idea of shame was a little bit different. I think children are imaginative. They love to imagine when they're young. So there is no sense of like the earth is continuous for them. There's nowhere they can drop off of the mountain. It's like the world is so big and full of imagination that when they grow up, they're told not to be so unrealistic, and slowly they're taught all these like little social constructs that we have in our society. It slowly diminishes this imaginative part of us. We're not so great at thinking bigger than the smaller picture that we are used to looking at. And that kind of starts this relationship between, don't say that, you're gonna embarrass yourself. Don't wear that, you're gonna embarrass yourself. Slowly we construct this shameful behavior in our children, because I have met people that are really confident and have no shame. So I do think it's kind of it's a social construct, but it could also be personality aspect to it. And of course, reputation, yeah, a lot of different things.
Okay. Any other opinion do we have?
Yes, I wanted to give another point of view. The other day I was reading an article about emotional growth. So the idea is a big part of emotional growth is communication. So Rasen, you mentioned something that sometimes the guy thinks that when a girl says no, she actually means yes, but she's shy. So that made me think like one of them is having a problem with communication, with emotional growth, or just growth per se. So let's look at both parties. If the girl is feeling shy, like she wants it, but she says no because she's feeling shy, yes, there are a lot of stigma. There are all of those aspects that you guys said are true and correct. I just want to say maybe she doesn't have the right communication skills either to express what she wants in a way that would be appropriate in the format of her society, like take it to a society that this is not a stigma. And from the boy's point of view, well, this is clearly misinterpretation. So this person is not understanding that, hey, a no is a no. So I shouldn't just carry on doing something because I think that they are shy. So if they think that this person is shy, but they want it, then you could communicate that. You could offer it. You could, I don't know, communicate your idea in a way other than aggression. So this just made me think about emotional growth. This could be a part to play a role in this, and I wanted to share it. That's all.
Yes, thank you. Any other opinion do we have? I wanted to add something about, like, you spoke about the marriage, like how the communication is between the couples, etc. I can take into consideration the Armenian culture, and I can say that sometimes the problem, is not because of the male. Sometimes it's because of the female as well. And I agree with Sama. It's kind of like emotional, or I don't know, maybe even general maturity, when they are not mature enough, because some of the boys think that if they have kind of needs, requirements to be satisfied most of the time, or interests, even in their sexual life, most of the time they're trying to look for it out of the family, because according to them it's not accepted, it's not moral to have this type of things in the frame of family, which is kind of problem. The other thing, sometimes some girls think that even if they want something, or even if they really this freedom in their relationship, most of the time they don't give themselves, because they again shy, and they think if maybe if they behave in a free way, so some kind of problem, what the partner will think about her. So these are kind of problems that sometimes you can see, or several decades ago and today also, in some cases you can meet that the husbands try somehow to limit their wife's freedom. For example, you shouldn't go to work, or I don't know, you shouldn't have on these clothes, or this type of things. Some girls think that it's good if, for example, they forbid them to do something, so it means that they love her, and this is kind of like care according to them. And in this behavior they encourage the guys, the boys, their husbands to behave in such a way. So what I want to say, that sometimes this is the problem, not only cultivated by the guys, by the boys. This is the problem that both together, men and women together, they're trying somehow to grow this problem in their societies. And in this mindset, they are bringing up their children, like their daughter, like it's like at 9, if it's 11, so it's not good, because you are not a good girl if you are coming home, for example, or 12 or those. So I want to say that we are or boyfriends, or like even their fathers, their brothers, anyone, somehow to meet their freedom and escape responsibility
so much. He does it out of love, and I think that's just a form of manipulation. And you are open to manipulation when you're in love. You don't realize that when you have children, when you're connected with someone, it's very easy for you to fall into manipulation. We all say like, no, it can't be me, I'm not like that, but we all are some form of manipulation you can fall under. And for me specifically, like, I know that growing up, being strong-headed as a girl, and I got a lot of, sorry for my language, shit for it, throughout my life, whether it be at school, in my house, with my parents, whether it be with people. I just got a lot for it. Saying being a girl in this society means being quiet and shy. It is the truth though. This is what they look for. Yeah, okay, she's talkative, but she shouldn't what's the word? Challenge anyone. And I think that's where you come in with your idea that
act like a lady.
So this is why I think we are all bred as women to think that's normal, and we also like feed into the bad cycle of this abuse that women and men can play a part of. But I think it's partly, as I said, it's society, it's how we're raised. You should say sorry every time you bump into someone. I've had people not bump into me and never say sorry, but I always say sorry, for example. And I don't think that's always necessary, but I think that's also ingrained inside me. because of my parents, again, school, culture, a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree with you, Daniela. Daniela said not to be so strong-minded, but have an own opinion. This is very important. Yeah, guys, like Ria, Arju, do you have something to say related with the topic? Who else do we have with us?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then let's continue. What will you add about the topic? Is there any other aspect that you would like to speak about? And I would like to speak about something as well. In the beginning, in your speech, you spoke about the beauty shape, the body shape, and the body shame as well. Again, if I take into consideration the Armenian culture, most of the time lots of requirements are in front of the girl, like she should be beautiful, she should be hardworking, the body shape, everything, like she should take all those things into consideration. But these requirements we don't give to the male most of the time. But again, this is the problem of I think the maturity of people, because like generalizing, I can say that here in society we have such kind of problem. But if each and every concrete specific case I'm taking into consideration, I can see that here, especially the young generation, the girls are very like they are taking the initiatives, and they are like in the front rows of everything, like in education, in lots of spheres of the life of the society. You can see that they are very active. They can take the initiative and can manage lots of things. And most of the time, when, for example, in nowadays, sometimes you can see that they artificially trying to somehow to manage the proportion, how many girls and how many boys, for example, female and male, are in the parliament or in the government or some other, I don't know, European, international, or even local companies. Somehow I disagree with this, because I think that it shouldn't be controlled in an artificial way. I think that they should try somehow to change the mindset of the girls, first of all, and then the society. And in this way, we will somehow we will come to the change of the proportion of the like how many male and female are working in the parliament or in the government or some other places. I would like you try to speak about this part of the topic as well, taking into consideration your society, where you are from.
Ma'am, I really feel that somehow TV is to be blamed as well, because even in movies or in cartoons, we're always shown that, you know, the princess always needs a prince charming. So I think most of the time women are also taught with or manipulated with this mindset that, oh, maybe that we are in trouble, that somebody else is going to save it, and it has to be a male, that we cannot save ourselves. So I think TV is a media is a huge platform from where they can actually confront people, especially girls from childhood, to accept the fact that no, you can save yourself, that you don't need a prince charming to come and save you.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Any other opinion do we have? Boys, what will you say about this? Like, because I think that in 21st century, most of the time we are talking about kind of like sexism, especially related with the girls, that somehow they are looked down, or I don't know, lots of requirements are in front of the girls, etc. But I think in lots of cases, the boys also meet lots of problems in nowadays societies. And sometimes these problems are like brought to the societies in an artificial way. I would like you like speak about this. Is there really such kind of issues? If yes, can you mention some of them?
Yes, ma'am. For example, I can mention in Me Too movement. actually a lot of good things, a lot of good things happened during that moment. But at the same time, there are also some disadvantages I can say in that, because a lot of men who did nothing, they also got affected because of that, and a lot of women who used it in wrong way also there. So you can't say it's totally depend on the guys. Women also, you have to use their laws, their rights accordingly. They have to use. If they don't use it properly, the all the women thought get to be blamed because of some few women.
Thank you.
I feel like the thing with the artificial forcing more women into higher positions is necessary for now, because still we hear a lot of, a woman is going to lead a company. No, that's not going to work. So I feel like people should see women more as their own person instead of just a woman or just a man. It's just a person who can lead, who is doing their job. And when people are more acquainted with that image, then it's also going to be less forced, because kids are also going to see that growing up. Okay, women and men can both be like at high positions. So I feel afterwards, after the artificialness, it's going to be like more natural. And also in the cartoons now, like in our time, okay, it was a lot of with princesses and princes and but nowadays a lot of cartoons also have very positive messages and powerful like girl leads and stuff. So I feel like they're also changing that and widening like kids their perception of things.
I know you asked that where we come from, how it works. In the US, there's twice as more females getting an education, a college level education, than men are at the moment that we're speaking. And this shows that girls are not being forced into this image to keep, as you would say, like they have to look good and study. I think a lot of the times is because of our cultures where we come from, which is mostly immigrants. A lot of our parents believe that like the male will go get a job and study and take care of the family. The daughter has to go marry someone who'll take care of her. I think even though these things are going away, they're still there in the back of our parents' minds. It's not too far from hard to believe. It really is there. And you don't see, for example, I've met a lot of Chinese and Asian heritage cultures that told me that their parents don't believe in them. They believe in their brothers or someone else in their family, but not them, because they're a girl. They should stay at home with the family. You guys can go off of that, but I think it's slowly gonna go away because we're putting ourselves.
Can I add something?
Mm-hmm.
So always when talks about like women rights and such happens, I know we did discuss it at its time in our philosophy class, but always when talks about such things come up, I have a little bit of an unpopular opinion for some. I say that if you want equality, that will not work, first of all. And even if you want to have equality, that will in the end not work. You cannot get it by just talking about women's rights and such. We need to have equity in our society. So we are different anyways, men and women. We are different. We need different things, and we need different requirements to reach the same level. Whether it's biology or mental, whatever, we need different things. So you cannot give two people, one man and one woman, the same thing and expect them to reach the same place. I'm not saying give a woman less or give a man more, give a woman more, give a man less, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking in general. I'm saying that we are different genders and we need different things if we want to get to the same place. So we should talk about what is suitable for a woman and what is suitable for a man to reach the same place. So like giving both parties the same opportunity, the same chance to reach somewhere. Not just talking about that we are strong, we should reach the same place. So if you have a vision, then you should think that I am weak. Sometimes unpopular or talking about how strong women are, I feel I'm admitting right in a way. I think if you're strong, you know it and you get it done. You don't need to talk about how strong you are. That's what I wanted to say. In a different way for men and women, rather
I'd like to jump in and just say something that you said.
that
I don't even disagree with that.
they both should have the same. Yeah.
What's going on?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just gonna cut. I want to agree with her in some certain aspects. So, for example, Bala and Hassan are here. They're both males, and they are different. They are both males, but they are different people. They do have different needs. So, yeah, I do totally agree. So, you should raise your child depending on their needs. Some might need more attention emotionally. Some might need more attention and giving them the tools they need to embrace their talents. And I do agree with that. What I disagree with is not pushing our daughters to go forward and not making them believe that we are strong. And I think sometimes we don't admit it, because I will tell you there are just a few girls that feel the empowerment. Not all of us do feel the empowerment. We really don't. Most of the time we walk in, we'll be not embarrassed, but what is the word? Under pressure. If we walked in a room full of men sitting down for a job interview, you would feel under pressure. You don't think so, but you would be under pressure. And it's important to like push our girls just a teensy bit to embrace different aspects. And it's not just where we want them to be CEOs. I'm not only talking about like, oh, go be a CEO. That's not the most important and rewarding job in the world that like you want to pursue maybe. But I mean, for example, we do shame male nurses as well. So it does happen on both spectrums, but we should incorporate that, like, yeah, we have differences. Women are better at, for example, English and literature languages. Males are better at physics and math. We do accept that. It's been proven many times, but we shouldn't just stop at that. We should also challenge ourselves and push ourselves to pursue different like jobs and careers and in the workplace.
Yeah, I totally, and I don't want you to like misunderstand my point by saying that I mean don't push girls. What I mean is that if you want to reach a society in which there is no difference and everybody can have the same opportunities, then you that I should push my girl because things are tougher for her. Because indirectly you're also implying that, look, the society looks down on you. And that's why you should always keep in mind to be like, I should push my child and tell them that there are going to be obstacles on your way. And you're strong, you can do whatever you want. This is your weaknesses, this is your strengths. Focus on your strengths and try to make your weaknesses into strength points and such. But if you have a vision of a society that is ideal, and in that both male and females can have the same things through different ways, through different routes, let's say, then you can just say that I will push my child, not just my daughter, or just my son.
I meant daughters.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Yeah, girls, really agree, and where they are important points that you underlined. Any other comments do we have?
I'd like to say something. I think most of the time it's like we need to change our views on how we see each other. Like men and women should see each other as equally. So like, let's say I had an opponent who was a male. I should see him as same of like a challenge to like kind of overcome as I would see a woman. You know what I mean? Like we need to like see them as equally as we. I don't know how I can say this, but like we need to change our views, and we need to start today. Like a lot of us need to start with our children in the future. We need to kind of pass it down.
Yeah, I agree. And guys, I wanted to say one more thing related with the topic. Don't you think that most of the time we girls are criticizing each other lots of times, like because of our body shape, because of our clothes, because of our behavior, than boys? What do you think about this? And most of the time the girls are criticizing each other, and they trying somehow to how to say, somehow to criticizing the other girls, somehow to emphasize their importance, or I don't know correctly how to say, but I can feel this type of behavior also, that girls are criticizing each other more than boys can criticize the girls.
I wanted to say that this is a form of aggression, actually. So we have the aggression that we are known that fighting and kicking someone that we're used to seeing. This is the form of aggression. And gossiping and talking about people and spreading rumors is called indirect aggression. It is a form of aggression that women deal with more, because since we're not so physical biologically, we adapt to this form of aggression of talking about each other. It's because we have this competitive bone inside our body, whether we're male or female. Males will exhibit it by punching someone in the face to show dominance and power. Women will put each other down to show, again, dominance and power. And it's just different forms of aggression. It's the same thing as you would see in a yard at school, or boys fighting.
Oh, yeah. When I first came to Armenia, I'd like to like give a little story. Like I've noticed how kind of different I felt, out of place kind of. All the girls here would have like makeup, get their hair done, look really good. I kind of felt out of place because people would look at me weird. And then like suddenly I would have this like pent up like anger where I'd be like, what are they looking at? Do they think they're better than me? I'm better than them. Like that's also like kind of reciprocating exactly what they're doing with me. So we need to stop judging other people, and I think we need to start like loving each other. Honestly,
I agree with Sama when she said that we're not going to get equality that we want. We were not ever going to reach that, by the way. But it's because our mind is incapable of thinking of that one day that we might reach this like equality or this utopia that we can live in. Our brain is not like developed to think of a solution further than capitalism or further than equality or any of the problems that we face today, as such as war and poverty. We can't deal with these problems because our solutions are really like limited. If I don't know if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guys, we have 7 minutes, so I think it will be better if we try to sum up, and if you have something to say regarding to the topic or some other topics you would like to suggest for the next time's discussion, anything, feel free to say. We have 7 minutes to sum up.
I want to ask everyone, what do you guys think is the solution to these problems? One day, if you do plan to have your family, and your own children, what is your solutions towards these problems? How are you going to deal with it?
I think very important thing is the relationship between daughter and father. Our fathers influence on us a lot, girls especially. Yes, mother's role and model also is important. How mother is respected at home by father, by grandfather, etc. But the most important thing is like fathers and daughters relationship. How fathers treat us. Because most of the time we are looking for that type of guys to have as a husband in the future. So that's why it's very important always to take into consideration that children, like most of the time we are thinking they are child yet, so later. I think it's the worst behavior of parents, because you should start from the very first day to treat the child as an individual, and always to take into consideration their needs, requirements, and like to give them a little bit freedom, freedom in order they realize their responsibility, their abilities, their skills, because most of the time we're trying to do the things instead of them, not giving them space of growing up, especially emotionally. And this in the future will become kind of problem for them. I hope that when I will have my own child, I will do my best in order to treat her or him in such a way.
I agree with that. I think it's very important to have this judgment-free zone. Like if you have a kid, that you tell them, okay, if there's something you want to discuss with me, I will be like judgment-free, and that you create this safe bubble where you can tell them anything and they can tell you anything, according to their age, of course, but really let them experience everything for themselves without you telling them, no, that's, if you do that, that's how you're gonna feel. Like, no, that's shameful. No, like let them find out kind of for themselves.
In my opinion, I think the education system has to be changed, because our education system in a lot of countries does not speak about this. And we have to speak about this. We have to teach our kids, and accordingly, parents have to act as like what they're teaching, because no, kids took their role model. They look, fathers as their heroes, mothers as their opinion. How to look a woman, like if father treats her like her mother, like her mother, like how, accordingly, that like that only the kid will learn what he have to act in the such conditions. So it's more upon the parents and their activities, and then and upon the education, I think so.
Thank you. Aparna, do you have something to say?
No, I think most of the things start at home. So my first opinion for this will be that if tomorrow I have a child, then me and my husband, we will both try to make sure that he and because their needs can be different. And secondly, yes, of course, the education system should also take a huge role in this like upbringing the child, because once you start talking, even in schools or even in colleges, then sometimes you can put your thoughts and views aside and listen to what actually there is. It might change your opinion. So I think that's
Ghassan has written here that just be friend with your kids. Don't blame them for doing something because it's already in the past. Try to help them find a solution. To be approachable as a parent. This is his opinion. Any other? Lilian, what do you think about your question? Do you have some solution for the topic, for the problem?
Yeah, I wanted to add this, not it also has to be in the schools because our children will spend most of their time in the school. So I think it's an important topic to bring up in school and allow children to talk about it and see different sides of the spectrum of what kind of parents they have and what's doable, and I don't know, just kind of solve the problem with everyone in the community, not just with your parents, because some parents are really not that approachable. Let's be honest with ourselves. Some people can't even talk to their parents. So I think the schools can give in something and help them, and I don't know, counselors, therapists in our community that we can set up that can help these children grow up in a more realistic view that we want to have.
Yeah, I agree very much, Lilian, for your tomorrow if that you would like to discuss. We know we will try to organize this. Hope you like it, and though there were kind thank you once again, Lilian, for your great